Hey guys, and welcome to another Age of Mythology myth units comparison, and in this comparison we will be comparing the Egyptian myth units. So when you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax and enjoy. Here are all the Egyptian myth units. Now we'll be comparing all of them per age in various challenges, though the water units and the rock transporting air unit will kind of be excluded. I will cover the water units, but I won't really cover the rock unit. Anyways, let's get into it. Starting off in the classical age, we have the Sphinx, Wadjet and Anubite. Now, out of these three units in a 1v1, the Sphinx will always come out on top, the Wadjet will have second place, and the Anubite will have last place. In a 1v1 versus a hero, which is their kryptonite, the Sphinx will still come out on top, but the Wadjet will be last place, as the Anubite did more damage against the actual hero unit. In a 1v1 with some extra units on their side, being spearmen and slingers, the Sphinx still comes out on top. In best out of 3, the Sphinx won almost every single time versus the Wadjet and Anubite. In second place we have the Anubite, and in last place we have the Wadjet, only really winning once. The problem with the Wadjet though in these tests is it attacks very late, and I think that has to do with the AI. Don't really know what's going on there. It would do better when micromanaged, and I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me how good it is when micromanaged, but in these tests I cannot micromanage anything, otherwise it would be unfair. And for the last challenge against a barracks, aka a building, again the Sphinx does come out on top with the Anubite following, and in last place the Wadjet, which isn't surprising because it just is bad against building. As you can see, the Sphinx absolutely smashed the classical age, being the best unit, and is in fact also one of the cheaper units. The Anubite is the cheapest, costing 100 food and some favor. The Sphinx cost 120 food and 18 favor, which is a lot of favor, and the Wadjet costs 150 wood and 15 favor. Meaning the Sphinx is just the best overall in my personal opinion. So first off with the heroic age, we have a 1v1 versus each other, and the Scorpion Man surprisingly comes out on top. Now I don't play Egyptian gods too often, but I didn't think it would be the best myth unit out of the three in a 1v1 scenario. The Scarab follows, and the crocodile thing with the sunbeam comes in last place. As for a 1v1 versus a hero unit, the Scorpion Man again surprisingly takes the win with the Scarab following, and the crocodile very surprisingly being last place here. I'd think the crocodile will do more damage against the hero unit before dying, but I guess I was wrong. As for a challenge against each other with some units, this one is a little more interesting. I did a best out of 3, and out of this, the crocodile came second place instead of last place this time. But again, the Scorpion Man wins all 3 rounds consistently. It's a very good unit, surprisingly. I did not think this at all before testing, and the Scarab comes in last place for this round. Now as for the next round, I have to say it's obvious which one is going to be winning. It's the Scarab. It's the most powerful against buildings because of its crush attack. Now I will say that if you do upgrade the crocodile, it can actually attack fortresses and towers from range without the towers actually being able to hit them. And it does more damage against the buildings. In this situation though, it's definitely going to lose against the fortress. As for the overall score, the Scorpion Man won by a large margin. I did actually expect the crocodile to win because it's a very powerful myth unit in my opinion. I use it most of the time, or the Scarab depending on which god I'm playing. The crocodile can actually attack through walls, which is a benefit the other two don't have. So every myth unit does have their strength and weakness, or their little thing that they're good in. Now the Scorpion Man again wins in terms of cost, as well as it's the cheapest myth unit of the 3. However, it does cost the most amount of favor per unit, being 25. So that's something to take into consideration. Next up in the Mythic Age, we have the Mummy, Avenger, and Phoenix. And the Mummy is interesting because it does have an instant kill attack, as you see in the video. Coming out on top, obviously, for that single reason. Now in second place we have the Phoenix because it's a flying unit, and the Avenger can't actually do anything on its own against the Phoenix. Next up in the round versus a hero, you're going to be very surprised, as I was. The Mummy literally instant kills a hero unit, and I could not believe my eyes when I saw this. Now the Medusa myth unit also has an instant kill by turning their opponent into stone attack, but it does not work on hero units, while the Mummy's instant kill attack does work. Very, very impressive. In this round, the Mummy comes out on top with the Avenger following and the Phoenix in last place. Next up, we have a round versus 10 Slinger units, and I could not do Myrmilio because the Phoenix cannot be attacked by the Myrmilio, obviously, so I did Slingers instead without any upgrades, as the myth units are not upgraded either. It's quite nice to see that these myth units absolutely mash through the tier 1 units, and the Avenger comes out on top, to no surprise. The Phoenix comes in second place, and the Mummy, weirdly enough, comes in last place against a lot of units. Now, the round against buildings is also particularly interesting. The Phoenix has a AoE splash attack, much like the Fire Titan special, and some other units. It does, however, do well against buildings, but in this round, it comes in second place as the Avenger has a very fast attack speed, therefore actually doing more damage against the Stronghold than the Phoenix. And the Mummy really doesn't do much and is of course in last place, but I found it particularly interesting to see that the Avenger is actually better versus a Stronghold compared to a Phoenix. Next up, we have a round versus each other using tier 1 units, being Slingers on each side, and the Avenger again comes out on top because it rapidly eats through all of those units. The Mummy comes in second place, and the Phoenix comes in last place. Add it all up, and the total score of each unit is 10 for the Mummy, 12 for the Avenger, and 8 for the Phoenix, so the Avenger is the best myth unit. Now the Avenger costs 30 favor and 250 food, while the Mummy costs 200 gold and 25 favor. Now the Egyptians are based around gold and most of their things do cost gold, but the Mummy is still technically cheaper, so probably one of the better bang for buck units in the game. But each Mummy does also take up 5 population. Anyways, this was one of the more surprising comparisons in terms of myth units. Now let's head over to the water units, shall we? Now the Leviathan is actually pretty interesting as it's a transport unit that can hold up to 20 units and it can fight. It can definitely fight. It can kill ships as you can see in the video. Even though those are non-upgraded ships, it will still take down upgraded ships. Which means it's the best transport unit in the water in the game. And the Egyptians also of course have the Rock, so I'd say the Egyptians have the best travel units in all of the game. However, against other myth water units, these units are not that effective, including the War Turtle, which gets beaten by the Kraken, and of course the Nereids, which are good against myth units. In fact, it gets absolutely destroyed by the Nereid, as you'll see in the following clip. As for docks, the Leviathan really doesn't do that much damage, but the War Turtle is pretty effective, and it will take down a dock rather quickly. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, please leave a like down below, and if you're interested in more Age of Mythology content, be sure to subscribe and leave some comments down below. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.